talk myself into not killing myself.
Right now, like there's more. There's more. So obviously, welcome everybody right now to our live instant reactions on the massive Canucks Coyotes blockbuster that just broke. I'll just pull up the details here to rattle them off for everybody. We're looking at OEL, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and Connor Garland heading to Vancouver with 12% of OEL's contract retained. So that's what works out to be 1.2 million. So it brings it down to 7 mil annually for him. For Jay Beagle, Louis Eriksson, Antoine Roussel, the 9th overall pick that's going to be selected tonight, a 2nd round pick for next year, and a 7th round pick. Yeah, I don't know. Like, to me, there's more coming. Like, not for this deal particularly, but there's more coming.
Oh, sorry. I'm good. What's up?
Not much. I just wanted to check in, see how your day's going.
A lot of voicemails.
You gotta put yourself on mute there, buddy.
There we go. There, I muted him now.
Problems of working while you're trying to break down trades. Sean, the question I have is, like, they're so close to getting out of all these bad deals. Like, I know. Okay, let's say if you look at the team versus the team 2 hours ago, they're a better team this season. That's fine.
No doubt.
That's OEL's contract ended at the end of the year, but there's still 5 more years after next year. Like, you were this close to being out of salary cap hell. And let's also not forget, they haven't paid their franchise center or their best defenseman yet.
I know.
Like, what are we doing?
Well, that's the thing too, right? Is that we still have Pettersson, Hughes, Dickinson, who we just acquired, and now we have Garland that are all RFAs and needing deals. The cap dump, it was funny because I was asked about it, you know, when we were talking about OEL last year, was like, what would it take for you to be okay with OEL? And I was like, well, they would have to take all of our bad deals, like all of them. And then at that point, I would think about it. And they would have to retain. Well, we did get all of that. They took pretty much all of our bad deals, right? They took cap off. But we added 3 draft picks, and one of them being a first, a top 10 pick, and we get Connor Garland in return. So I like Garland. Like, we'll start there. I like Connor Garland. I just don't think we got enough back for what we gave up.
But you're like, that's the thing. Garland's a good player, but he's probably going to be $4 million at least, right? And if you look at the math, like, in order for the Canucks to come out with more salary cap than they had before, he has to be under 4.25. So basically, you just traded a 1st round pick, a 2nd round pick to be cap even. Where if you would have just waited a year, you would have had 14 million, 13 million, whatever it adds up to in space.
Yeah, like, I don't think that the Canucks are going to break out with any extra cap space out of this.
Well, I mean, they saved like $200,000, but that $200,000 has to go for the Vertanen buyout.
Yeah, which would end up there would be 50,000 left over on the cap after that buyout. I'm gonna pull up here. This is Connor Garland's page. So, like, obviously we're getting a good player in Connor Garland. I don't think anybody's upset or remotely sad that we're getting Connor Garland out of this. Like, my initial reaction was, this is who I wanted, was Connor Garland. On top of that, though, like, I would have been wanting, like, Christian Fischer as well. 1 mil left on 1 year left on his deal, 1 mil. Here, I'll pull up his card here as well. Just because, like, OEL is such a huge deal with such huge term and future implications. Like, it's hard to stomach. Like, Fisher's 23 years old. Oh, he's a right winger. Yeah. So, I mean, you could bring him in and throw one of your wingers that can also play center into the middle. But, like, I don't know, man. Like, I would have been wanting something else here.
I just don't understand to take on OEL's contract while you're giving up assets. Like after, I mean, it's debatable even this season if he'll be a positive influence, right? You have to assume playing the second pair, he's going to have a decent season. But it's not getting better, right? It's not like he's 23 years old. He's not going to get better as the contract goes forward. So you just paid to take on arguably the worst contract in the NHL.
I'm back, by the way. My boss started calling me just as we got on the live, so that's great timing. But I'm back. I'm back.
Classic.
No worries,
you know what? I'm breaking Canucks news over here with Sean Warren. He's an insider, so I had to get on the live. I'm sure Andy's shit all over this already, but no, I'm on board with this. Okay, it's the only. I'm talking myself into it. Canucks got to move Holtby now. Use the cap savings. Find a defenseman or two on the low end, and the top nine's looking pretty good. Sean, I know you and me were talking about that before we got on the live. I think Dickinson, Garland, Pearson probably slides down to the bottom six. We got Todd Colson, Hoglander. There's a lot of pieces there. I think you bring in a couple of D-man. I mean, on the off chance that Oliver Ekman-Larsson is can turn this very bad chart into something even slightly positive. I mean, I think the Canucks can actually do something or at least have a shot at the playoffs. And at this point, that's all I can talk myself into with the plan that Jim Benning's got. Because, I mean, if the Canucks miss the playoffs next season, Jim Benning's gone anyway. But I just, from a fan perspective, I don't know how I can sit here at this point and just cheer for this team to fail after, like, all the shit the Canucks have been through in the last 7 years. A bubble last year was fun. It's probably the most fun that we've had with this tenure as general manager. But, other than that, it has been bleak looking at 9th overall, looking for top 10 draft picks. And, he wasn't following the plan anyways, so we can't take the trade back at this point. There's no point. It can't be like, oh, yeah, I wish if you want to avoid all this, I wish I had a time machine and would have gone back to 2014 and not done any of this in the first place. But obviously, we have Ekman-Larsson now, so what are you going to do? You got to try to move forward with that. And I think, this is not the way I would say to go about it, but I know, Andy, we talked about this in Cast Basements Cups, I think like 3 weeks ago, where we talked about, maybe signing Pettersson and Hughes to shorter-term deals and making a more aggressive plan. And this might be the Jim Benning's aggressive plan. I'm not sure if it's the aggressive plan I would have followed if I was in charge, but at this point, what are you going to do, right? I don't really think. We can share all Ekman-Larsson all we want, but he will be probably anchoring the second pair for the Canucks next season. Him and Tyler Myers.
Probably the next 6 seasons, right?
I'll say this, though. The Canucks are going to be entertaining to watch. Like, they might not have any defense, but we're going to score a lot of goals.
We're going to be fun. Like, that's the thing is the Canucks are a better team this season now. So, aggressive Jim, we were promised an aggressive offseason. Nobody can say this isn't an aggressive move. This is a hell of a move, right? I think my first reaction was, holy hell, it's OEL. It was just like, I can't believe that actually ended up coming to be.
Like I've said, I told you, Sean, before I got on here with you, I was feeling physically unwell when I was getting all the news broken to me. I was like, oh, God, I need to sit down.
I was like vibrating on the phone with a buddy.
I literally spit out my rice when I saw the tweet.
I don't drink. I know most of you guys know that here, but I feel like I could use a shot of high stick vodka right now to calm down.
Yeah,
I could use that too.
I've got it on standby here. This is going to come in clutch today.
Pour an extra one out for me, Sean, and have one for me.
Yeah,
definitely will.
So the Canucks are a better team today, but are they a cup contender? No.
What happened, Josh?
The thing is, Canadians. Are they gonna make the playoffs this year? I would venture.
I would say so. Yeah, they have a chance.
And that's really all that I can say right now.
The Canucks are one injury away from catastrophe. What if Besser gets hurt? What if Miller gets hurt? What if Horvat?
Pettersson gets hurt again.
What if Pettersson gets hurt again? He's shown he hasn't played a full season once in his NHL career yet. Pettersson goes down with injury. The Canucks are in trouble.
That said, we are way deeper in our forward group than we have been under any other year of the Jim Benning.
I like the Garland acquisition.
Is Dickinson going to be Dickinson going to be second line center?
No,
that's right. Exactly. So Pettersson goes down for an extended period of time. Like the Canucks are in trouble.
Pettersson goes down. They probably shift Miller over to
back
the middle.
to center. Yeah, but again, that's
shift Dickinson to the wing.
that's probably
If
not
that
a
happens.
long-term fit.
No,
I want to get your guys.
You don't want to do any long-term planning without
what's
Petey.
what's the plan now here? Are we? I think Sutter's probably going to get re-signed for 4C at $1 million.
To be honest, I don't even know if they do that.
I think
heard much about
did Dollywall not report that Sutter Canucks are still talking to Sutter?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and I mean,
Yeah, he
in the Jim Benning media availability, he was saying that they still are talking to Sutter. The thing that made me think they're not actually genuine about it was when I forget who it was, so my apologies there, but they asked like, where do you see him in the lineup? And he was like, well, he's a leader, he's good in the room, and he never said anything about where he'd play in the lineup or where he could see him.
I mean, I think the obvious hole was filled by Beagle at the time, right? Obviously now the Canucks are without a fourth line center, and the obvious hole is opened up with Beagle going. So I mean, I think that fits for me.
I'd want him for less than $1 million.
Jimbo loves him.
Yeah.
I feel like he's, the devil versus the devil you don't at this point. So
and they're bringing a lot of devils they don't know.
Probably don't have to pay him as much this year coming on, considering he's coming off a heftier contract for a guy like him and flat cap world and all that. So I mean, I think at this point you probably bring Sutter back. You probably keep Highmore and Mott in the fourth line. I would wager, right? Something like that. Those guys are under contract at least. They have a little bit of speed to probably counteract whatever Sutter does out there. Dickinson on the third line, and then you got Pod Colson with him and Pearson, and then Garland, Hoglander, Horvat, and then Lotto line. So that's pretty good. The defense is just
well, and that's okay. So that's where the question comes in, right? Because there's obviously a lot of Holtby rumors. There's a lot of Nate Schmidt rumors. I don't think the Canucks are anywhere near done here. Like to me, this was the checkered flag getting waved the first time, right?
This was them saying we're all in.
Yeah,
this is the start of the race for Jimbo here.
So I fully anticipate a busy rest of the night.
Well, I mean, I think is Jake Virtanen going to get bought out now for even more cap savings? I think the Canucks need to create more cap space at this point somehow, some way. So I think that's either probably a Holtby trade. Jake buyout. I know he still hasn't been done yet, but I think that's got to happen at some point. And then that probably frees up a little bit more money. I think Pedersen and Hughes are probably still going to get bridged despite this deal, unless they're thinking to trade Nate Schmidt, which personally I don't think they're trading Schmidt at this point. I think they're keeping Schmidt and OEL because I think they still view Schmidt as their second or third best defenseman. So I think they want to keep that. And I think Jim Benning in his mind has hit a home run here and has turned his top forward, Hughes, Myers, Schmidt, and OEL, and he thinks that's really good. So I think he's gonna try to want to run with that. That's what I
love how you said that. That was great.
I think that's what he's thinking there. I mean, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, I think would it really make sense
total opposite view
now? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I have total opposite view on Nate Schmidt. Like I think this is the sign that Schmidt is gone, and they're bringing in something else, like a draft pick. Maybe I've seen even ties to Jake DeBrusk out of Boston. We know that Boston was really wanting OEL as well. They were involved in that. So maybe Schmidt is a consolation prize there. I don't know. I think Schmidt and Holtby are gone. Virtanen goes without saying will be gone. I don't know.
Here's the question I have, Sean, is how much worse does this Tanner Pearson contract look now? Because he's clearly not better than the 6 forwards Canucks have.
Yeah,
so now you just re-signed a third-line player for $3.25 when you probably could have got a third-line player for half the price in the open market.
And you could have got a second-round pick for him, which then they could have used to, I don't know. At this point, it sounds like trade, right? Probably acquire like a Jake Bean.
Maybe a Jake Bean, yeah. I mean, I think there's no way the Canucks trade this year's second-round pick now, given the position they are draft-wise here. It's still a high-ish second-round pick. That prospect will probably, whoever they draft there will probably still be, not counting goaltenders, obviously. Exclude Mikey DiPietro will probably be the best prospect the Canucks have. If it ends up being a Logan Stankoven or someone similar. But I mean, I think that might make Jim look pretty smart here if he can somehow snag a Stankoven type of player. But
Always.
yeah.
It's keeping me going today.
I want to get. Has everybody else now like resigned to the fact that Brad Clark will be available at number 9 and go to the Coyotes?
I know.
Oh.
You just know what's
I have
happening.
that feeling.
100%, right? 100% going to be
Yeah, I have
available,
that feeling.
or it's going to be like someone else that like I don't know who else. Like,
I was like, that'd be the most
Why would
Canuck
Why don't you like Matt Beniers slips to 9 now, or Owen Powers down to 9?
William Eklund sitting there
Oh,
at
yeah,
9.
yeah.
Oh,
But I mean, yeah,
God.
I just have a feel. I had a feeling going into the draft that if the Canucks kept their pick, I was like, I just have a feeling that somehow, someway, Brad Clark is going to slip to 9. And now that his pick is gone, for sure. Coyotes,
Oh, like Mason
first-
McTavish, like
Yeah,
the
I think
perfect
for
Reese
sure.
of the future.
I think for sure he's going to go. Clark's going to go 9th now.
So our friend Patrick Johnson just tweeted this, and he said he can confirm that Arizona is retaining 12% of the cash and the cap hit on OEL. So that's $990,000 in cap they're retaining. So not even $1 million.
I mean, it's something.
So it's not even the 1.2 mil that was
No,
Wait, let me
reported.
bring up Patrick's tweet.
according to PJ, it's $990K.
Oh my lord.
So that brings him down. That 8.25. That'd bring him down to 7.3.
Yeah,
Right.
something like that.
Roughly
Yeah,
around there.
So in simple terms, is this
7.28 or
good?
something.
No. Yeah, I have the tweet up right here. Oh lord.
I've been refreshing Cap Friendly because I know they're really fast with changing stuff, and I just want to see what the Canucks picture looks like now. They're so accurate that I trust them over my little calculator skills.
Yeah.
So I completely missed Andy's point.
It sounds like the retention is
$990,000.
990. So his
Whoa.
cap hit is 7.26. It's now on Cap Friendly. So here, I'll share this.
7.26.
Yeah, share the
So
tweet.
he's still the highest paid player on the Canucks.
Yeah.
Oh.
So here's the cap. Let's see if it's fully updated. We've got, it looks like it's all done.
Yep, I see Ekman Larson there.
OEL right here.
7.26, yep.
Yeah, retained salary, and then the no move clause, of
No move
course.
clause.
30 years old. He's got a lot of term left.
So the
And a lot
Canucks,
of cash.
Canucks got what, 18 million in cap now?
Yeah, 18.789. So, I mean, they've freed up some, but we also got to
And so,
remember that
the Canucks only didn't we not only free up like $4 million in that trade now?
what's that? Sorry.
Like the Canucks were already sitting with like 14 million before this trade. Now they're only sitting at 18, right? So it's still they only freed up like an extra 4 mil.
Yeah,
And
but you got to pay
probably Garland and Dickinson,
Garland and Dickinson and Petey and
and then
Hughes.
Petey and Hughes. Like Petey and Hughes were probably taking up the 14 anyway that the Canucks had. The 4 million you created is probably all going to go to Dickinson and Garland now, and then that's it. And then what are you doing on defense?
That's why I think that means Schmidt's gone, right? Like
Okay, but how does trading Schmidt make the team better now?
they got to get somebody cheaper, right? They can't run.
Okay, so we need to
OEL, Myers,
find
and
so what you're
Schmidt.
telling me is we need to trade our third best D man in Nate Schmidt, who's making $6 million, and trade him and find a younger, cheaper, better version of him through trade. I'm sure
Daunting
lots
task.
of teams are lining up to take on an older, worse, more expensive version of a defenseman that they already have.
Look, I don't
I'm
think it's going to
sure
be like
that's-
that. I don't think they're like, hey, we've got a better player that's way cheaper and way younger. Can we take Nate Schmidt off your heads? I think it's going to be something like we trade him, get assets that we then potentially flip for a player like that. But yeah, we need to get Surrey boy from Calgary.
Wait,
Joe Kara?
isn't that from
From
Edmonton?
Edmonton, yeah, Edmonton. I think
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
pretty
Kara.
sure you're meaning
Jujhar Kara.
Jujhar Kara, right? So yeah,
Surrey boy?
yeah, Edmonton. Here we go. Yeah.
Yep, you're right.
I mean, Kara's a good player. I don't know if we really have any space for Kara at this point. Pick up draft for Schmidt. Yeah, like I think if you're able to get like a futures type or like a cap dump type deal for Nate Schmidt, you're laughing, right? Like you're able to then take that and reallocate it towards filling some holes. Jake Bean's cheap. I mean, hell, you've already like look at the on Cap Friendly here. They're draft picks right now. What's one more draft pick at this point? They're clearly all in. They're not. Jimbo's looking at this and he's like, "That's a problem for future GMs, not for me." Like, look at this. We've got no first this year. We've got no second next year. No third in either year, and no fourth this year.
That's 2 straight years without a first.
How about you just keep it to thank you, Jim? Okay.
I can't help but think of the GIF. It's like Homer. That's like, wow, that's a problem for future Homer. I don't envy that guy. Yeah.
I thought Ben was the draft.
Hate to be him.
Too. Like, how come he keeps trading picks if he likes drafting so much?
I mean, we've been asking that question for years.
Yeah, it's been like 7-8 years of us asking that exact.
That's a question science can't even answer.
Yeah. We hire a drafting and scouting GM. That's his strength, and he never drafts. Trades draft picks like they're going out of style.
All I can say
I don't know,
is
man.
Looking through Twitter, there are some nice receipts on here. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Some of them from me.
Sid 6-0.
Yeah, I saw that Sid tweet. I'm just like,
oh my god.
I mean, Sid has a.
Adam's dead on here. Edler's done. Confirmed.
Yeah, Edler's gone. All the best to him.
Watch, he's going to go to Calgary. That's my call.
Yeah, he's going to Calgary.
He's going to fill in Gio's shoes.
I think. I mean, like you said, Sean. I think maybe you might be turning me on this Schmidt front here. I think maybe it's time. I think you try to trade Holtby for anything, trade Schmidt for anything. You've got with the 18 you have just enough to sign all your own UFAs or RFAs. So do that. Buy out Jake, trade Holtby, trade Schmidt, and then try to find. You gotta build a defense kind of style where it's like built around Quinn Hughes and just find players to complement them on the low end. You know, bring in 2 or 3 guys for in the $2 million range instead of one guy in the $6 million range, and then just throw some shit against the wall and see what sticks. Hopefully Rathbone takes a step and ends up being what we all think he can be, and then just do what you do.
No decor is the new decor.
Yeah, we can just start calling them the core because there's no D.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that there are cheaper options. Are they as good as Nate Schmidt? Maybe not, but you can go cheaper there to fill in some gaps. You've got you're spending all your money on. You've got already. You're going to be paying out for Hughes. You're already paying out for OEL. You're already paying out for Tyler Myers. So can you have 4 defensemen that are over $6 million?
Well, we can and we will, bro.
I was going to say, I mean, technically there's no rule against it. I wouldn't advise doing that, but
I mean I think in a normal circumstance, absolutely. But it's a problem when like OEL and Tyler Myers are 2 of those guys, right? I don't know, man. Like, I think Canucks made themselves a playoff team today. I don't know if that's
okay. I don't know if there's still a step or 2 in this plan to go. I hope. I mean,
for sure.
Before I really writing them off as yes, 100% will be a top 3 division team in the Pacific Division. I mean, I think coupled with the fact that Ken Holland destroyed the Edmonton Oilers and Seattle, I don't think understood the rules of the expansion draft. I think the Canucks do have a chance of being top 3 in the division behind Vegas. I think Vegas is really the only team that will be clearly good in the Pacific, and the rest of it is pretty bad. Calgary is in trouble. Edmonton's in trouble. Seattle's not very good. Arizona, I mean, they just took on all the Canucks garbage, so I don't know how that got any better. I mean, I guess LA would be the only team you kind of have to worry about if any of those young players can really break out and all at once. That would be the team you want to watch out for most.
Whoever lands Eichel out of Anaheim and LA.
LA taking Eichel, yeah. And then obviously, I mean, I know we were making fun of the Oilers there, but I mean, obviously, if you got McDavid and Draisaitl, and if they can just go, God mode like they did this last year and just carry them to the playoffs with the corpse of Duncan Keith on the back end, and I wouldn't write it off yet.
We got Who's is loose. How's it going, buddy? Oh, we might have who's. I don't know.
Sounds like he's
There we
plugging
go.
his headphones in there. There he
I
is.
had
There
to
he
find the
is.
headphones. There we go.
Right on.
What's up, boys? Let's
Oh,
go.
not too much.
Let's go, baby.
Oh, we got
Oh,
everybody.
right.
We got Ace too. Right on.
They were chopping at the bit in the car. I know they were waiting to get on here.
Yeah,
Yeah, we were just-
absolutely. Okay.
We were listening to back on the radio on the way in.
Oh boy.
Pointed them,
So
getting
this
no
is the
bad
best move
contracts
since
left.
Gretzky trade, right? Yeah.
Oh, dude, he was like, "Oh, we got no bad contracts left on the books now," you know.
We have a $13
Yeah, we only have the
million
worst
No,
one.
just the one to be acquired.
deep.
Yeah.
Oh.
Watch Dickinson get like a 4x4 next.
That Simpson episode
That's,
where Homer
that's
is the
literally
garbage
not
commissioner.
impossible.
That's actually so true. Vic, bang on there.
Yeah, absolutely, Vic.
That's physically not possible to pay Dickinson that much money anymore.
No. So okay, so with I've saw the rumors today as well that there's a potential Nate Schmidt to Boston for DeBrusque. You can't do that trade anymore because where is DeBrusque going to play?
Just do it. We don't need defense. Where's get that Adam tweet back? Get that Adam tweet back over here. No decors.
Yeah.
New decor.
No decor.
What-
Is the
at,
new
at
deep.
this at this point, can you even trade Schmidt? Like,
Won't that
literally,
save you
Benny
money, though?
Is going in all in. Like, Schmidt is obviously going to help you. What is the advantage of trading other than the cap space? Like at this point, like I'd rather be looking to dump Myers, right?
You know,
Because
I said this. The all-American Larson trade.
like
wouldn't have
clearly
been
you
that
don't
bad.
care about giving up assets to dump bad contracts. So if we're throwing graphics on the door, we may as well do it to get rid of actually bad contracts, right?
This trade could have been significantly better if one of Beagle or Roussel or whoever it was Myers instead, and you kept one of them. So if you went like maybe Beagle, Roussel, and then Myers and the 9th, and like the 2nd and 7th, which came out of nowhere, I was like, when
I
they said there
know.
was more to the trade,
What was
I
that
was like,
second round pick for? What was
I
it for?
like, cap retention, let's go. All American Larson is gonna be at 50%, and it is like, nope, the Canucks gave up another second.
It was
round
actually
pick.
less than what it was originally.
It was only
reported.
990,000 or something like that. I think
Yeah.
is the official amount. So
990.
it's not
Yeah,
even
it was
a million.
originally reported at 1.25, so it was gonna be like 6x7, but it's way less.
Oh,
Yeah,
is it-
so I'll
is it
pull it up
12%?
again
I
here.
thought it was 12% of his thing.
Oh, this looks super
12%.
sick, Sean.
But
Yeah,
it works
Sean,
out
nice
to
job,
be
man.
it works out to be 7.26 at the end of the day. So yeah, 990 as the retained.
So what is a Connor Garland contract looking like for you guys? What can you even afford at this point?
Well, we were kind of kicking that around before you guys hopped on here. We saw 18 million. Canucks have 18 million in cap space now. Let's bookmark 14 of that for Pettersson and Hughes conservatively.
I think
Right.
you do
Then you
13.
got $4 million for the rest for Dickinson and Garland. I'd probably say 2 each, 2.5, and 1.8 something. So it's probably somewhere both probably get 2 million each. And then
Wasn't
that's the rest
Connor
of it.
Garland making 2.5 this season?
No,
He's
he
got
was
a
on his
raise, isn't
DLC.
He was
He
on
was
the
on,
DLC.
Oh, he's on a DLC.
Yeah.
Okay, I
He's
didn't
got
know
arb
that.
rights
That's how I
though.
yeah, he's got arb
Got
rights.
the arb rights.
was- Okay,
So that's the
I was
other
gonna say, I
thing
was-
too. You don't want to go to arbitration with Garland, with
Oh, not at all.
Dickinson, with like you've got a ton of RFAs.
I
right
mean,
now
if you go
that
to
you gotta
No,
if
you
you go
can
to
go with
arbitration with Dickinson probably wouldn't
He doesn't have
be
good stats.
too bad. I don't think, right?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have great counting stats, and his ice time hasn't been like crazy high, right? Like he's not like a
depends what the arbitrator will look at too, right? Because
But then isn't arbitration not allowed to use advanced analytics when determining
Analytics, yeah, you can't use that.
contracts? I'm pretty sure it can only use like
Oh, really?
the box star stats and time on ice.
It's like goals, assists, points, obviously, and
minus.
then like plus minus.
Plus
I think
minus.
is the big one.
okay,
Yeah.
And
well,
the
then that's
time on
super
the time on
sucks
ice
for
the time on
them,
ice is the biggest one.
yeah, time on ice works as well, especially for defensemen.
So,
So
I mean, like
That's
yeah,
why
you
they
don't
got
wanna go
that's why they
arb
let,
rights
that's
with-
why the Canucks let Stetcher go that year because
Oh,
the
and
time on
Hutchinson,
ice was
too.
insane, right?
Yeah.
So that they were like, oh yeah, he's gonna get paid like a top pairing guy.
you can't use that for how good his defense is.
I mean,
In
you had
arbitration,
back-to-back 39-point seasons for Garland, right? So
That's
I mean,
pretty
he had
solid.
39. He had
he had
39
and 49
in
this year.
49 this
Yeah.
season. So yeah, that's like probably closer to 50 points realistically, right?
Yeah.
So, and I mean, if you look at Dom,
Okay, we are bringing up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. See, quite good.
Wow, pretty good.
Yeah, pretty
I
good.
think Dom Lushishkin model has him as a top line player, like projected as a top line player for the next year, and then he's a top 6 player for like 3 or 4 years after that. So, he's like pretty legitimate top 6 option for sure. But
Yeah.
yeah, it depends on that. That's why I was just wondering what you guys think is cost. He's 25. He's not.
No,
yeah,
he's
he's not.
fits in
he's
the
not
right in the
age group
area.
really well.
Right.
The thing I would look at with the Dickinson and the Garland acquisitions are like, it looks like they're trying to acquire guys who are more around Horvat's age to try and get the team competitive now. Because at this point, Horvat was sort of the only mid-20s guy who's
Maybe
really
Miller.
pulling his weight.
Also.
Maybe Miller. Yeah, maybe Miller's a bit older, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
guys who are on
Horvat's the
older
only
side.
member of clearly member of the core who's in his prime of his NHL career already and in the mid-20s area and actually pulling his weight in the contract, like Ace said.
I think Garland was. They both won. I think they won the same draft as well. Yeah, I think they all won in the same draft as well. So
Yeah.
Connor
Or maybe Garland won a year
Garland
after,
was
but-
drafted in the Besser year. He was drafted in 2015 here.
Right.
Garland and PD are offer sheet eligible. I think so was Dickinson technically.
Right? And everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, Hughes isn't though, right?
He uses those
Hughes
guys
is
not.
He's at
Yeah,
10.2.
Yeah.
Jim says you win with 25 to 35-year-olds. Yeah.
I mean,
Hey, Malk.
The best looking guy on the network, Malcolm Urt.
How you feeling, buddy?
I'm good, boys. I'm good, boys.
Malcolm looks so sad right now. It's making
This
me
is
laugh.
this is wild, man.
You guys remember when Malcolm
broken
tweeted? You guys remember when Malcolm tweeted not to trade the 9th overall pick, and it got like 200 likes on Twitter?
It was an all caps that you tweeted it.
I literally wrote an article
Yeah,
saying
some good
that we
that
should trade the
fucking
9th
did, eh?
overall pick.
You know what? It was funny because like before I jumped on the live, I was like, "This is what I get for jumping on a Buffalo live stream to laugh at the Flyers." Is that immediately the Canucks do something dumb?
Oh, we got everybody on here. Where's the third
Yeah.
line
I'm not
guys,
gonna-
man? Got to get these guys on here.
I know.
I'm not gonna lie.
Got the
I-
squad.
I already knew we were gonna trade the 9th overall pick.
Well,
When you said
I
aggressive,
did.
told you
You
guys
just
that on
knew.
the podcast.
no, they said
I said it
aggressive.
on the podcast.
You and me voted that, Andy. Not like these two clowns over here telling us that we were out to lunch on that. Jim
Is it
Benning
safe
said
to
he's gonna
say
get
we're the
aggressive.
people with means?
I guess so. And
That's the thing, right? Is like as soon as you had Jim going around telling everybody he was going to be aggressive, you just knew that 9th pick was gone. And I was
well, it'd be the only thing that you could trade anyway. Like, there's no assets
there's
left.
nothing
There's no
else with
prospects.
assets.
Like, the only ones you'd count is like Pod and Hogg, and like even then,
And
like,
because
he
they
knows-
can play right away, they're
exactly,
not going to
you
get
have to
traded,
keep
right?
them. Exactly, yeah.
yeah.
That's the thing that you've won 2 years in a row with no first round pick. There's like there's literally nothing in Abbotsford. Like,
Don't worry,
I don't
guys.
even know who's playing for this team next year other than like the DiPietro.
No, and the
Like-
guy who signed yesterday, the guy from
I'm
Saskatoon.
the guy who signed yesterday. Yes.
Chase. What
Yeah.
was his name?
Like
Chase
Wooster,
something.
something. Chase
But, like,
Wooster.
Yeah,
There's nothing.
that's his
What-
name.
What is the
Yeah.
what is the plan going forward now? Like, what is
Try
the
to win the Stanley Cup
ramifications?
next year. Win the Stanley Cup next
2022
year.
Stanley Cup
and that's it.
champions.
Yeah,
That's
the plan is the
Plan
same
the
plan
parade.
it's been since they took over in their very first year, and it's
Scott
try
Rochelli's
to
next
win
year.
right now and do whatever you can to win right now.
And just fuck everything else,
that's,
basically?
That's their
Not-
plan.
Yeah.
It's
Just
not
do the
just
future
Okay,
with
I
it
just-
now.
Clearly, do you see the vacancy of draft picks that I just tweeted out?
It's do whatever you
It's
can
just
to
a
keep your
black
job,
hole of
guys.
space at the top of our cap-friendly page.
Oh,
We
yeah.
don't have,
Dude,
of course, a first,
You
a
did.
third, or a fourth this year, and we don't have our second and third next year as well. Not to
No,
mention,
wait.
of course, all the picks that we have already traded.
Yeah.
We're gonna lose our
and
first
second
round pick
rounder
next year,
last
too.
I
We're gonna
had
trade
pulled
our
that
first
up
round pick
here.
next year.
Yeah.
Right here.
Oh.
Gone.
what a beautiful sight.
Gone. Gone. Gone.
And
Gone.
who cares? Who cares? But they needed a 2023 seventh rounder too to get this done.
I know.
Well, the,
What the
the
hell?
ninth overall and a second next year wasn't.
How is the
enough.
second round? How is the second round pick of the 9th overall not enough for them to retain like an actual amount of his salary? Like, I truly don't
12%.
understand
Yeah, I don't
what
get it
else do
either.
we need to give up for
They
that.
should have
amount?
retained with how much the Canucks gave up. That should have been retaining 50% of all of Larson's
Oh,
contract.
easy.
And you're
Easy.
trading Garland, who has no contract. Like, if Garland had a contract, then at least it would have made sense because you're like, okay, you don't have
Yeah.
to sign him. So, like, he's already got cost certainty. Like, you trading a guy with, you're basically trading his RFA rights.
Yeah, you're trading his
For the
RFA,
9th overall
right?
pick.
And he's 25.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I mean, I get it. No, I get
seven
he's
years older than the guy that we would have taken tonight.
Yeah.
a good. No,
Would
he's a
have
good
come on
player.
in
I
at least
agree.
3 years
He's a
then.
good player, but
he's a
there's
good
no-
player.
There's no room for growth here. Like, he is what he is.
Yeah.
He's probably a 50 point player. That's what it is.
We almost made it, guys. It was just one more season of bad contracts. We almost
so
had it.
close.
We were this
That
close
was
to
the light at the end of
We were
the
this
tunnel.
close.
Okay, I did want to touch on this from Andy too, because I was thinking about this as soon as the trade went, was that there was reports for a long time that Arizona had not reached out at all to Garland's camp. That Garland's agent had put forth multiple, like, here's some guidelines for what we can do as far as structuring goes, and they didn't even get notified that they even got that. They didn't even get notified that they received that.
I just think Arizona was they
Left
were
on
planning
red.
to move Garland. They were planning to move Garland the whole time. I
They
just
knew
think that they
Garland
don't
and
even
Ekman
care.
Larson
They were
was
like,
a
whatever,
package.
Garland is moving on.
They already
matter
knew
what.
that was a package there. Ekman Larson and Garland. They were just a matter of
100%.
time till they find it this offseason.
Honestly, I feel
what's
like
the point?
Arizona's just on the quest of acquiring all the bad contracts from that 2016 free agency. They're going to
have the greatest team of 2012 players ever. They're going to win the 2012 Stanley Cup.
What they're doing
They are
now is
literally
they're working on a time
capped up
machine.
Well, they
Island.
should have kept Ekman Larson if they wanted to win the 2012.
They're just working on a time machine to go back to 2012
even
and
do
then win
that.
the Stanley Cup with the team that they have. 30
de-aging
goals.
technology in Arizona.
30
shade
goals
down.
away
Yeah,
for
look at
Louis
that.
Eriksson.
See, that's okay. So here's the question that I have out of this is how confident were you that Arizona was even going to qualify Garland?
Not very.
So he would have gone as a free agent, right?
Oh no, they probably would have qualified him. Sorry, they probably would have qualified him. I just don't think they was ever going to sign there. I think they've had their heart set on trade for this guy, and I think they kind of knew that he would be a semi-valuable asset.
Yeah. And he's asking about your season tickets.
I'm gonna go now. They're gonna make the playoffs. next year, guys.
I did call and cancel them. Yes, that was what I was doing. In
But
between here.
but Malcolm, do you have proof?
Yeah.
Do you have proof, Malcolm?
Yeah, it wouldn't be Canucks. You're gonna ask you for
We
I
need the
actually-
receipts.
I haven't responded to an email asking for written confirmation yet, but I
Okay.
called in and
Hey, Malcolm,
called
I
in.
think I was in a hockey pool with you 10 years ago and you didn't pay me. I was just wondering.
Yeah. All right, yeah,
You
I got
can't
email
I'll
receipts
just pay
ready
you
to-
$60 this time. I'm not doing it again. Give me your email. Anyone wants $60? Just send me their email. I'll send them $60.
Yeah, I'll take 60. Yeah, why not?
I think I
I
want
need
to
to buy
ask
more high sticks.
the guys who were in your Gus Gaudier, Malcolm Ace, and who's we're kind of kicking this around. Schmidt is going to be traded now, or will be on
No.
the Canucks next season? What do you guys think?
on the Canucks next season.
No, he'll 100%
He's
be
gone.
traded. There's no way we can allocate that much. cap
No.
to
Jim,
defenseman, because of course again we still don't have Hughes signed, so that would be 4 defensemen making over $6 million a year. I don't
Only
think we
2
can
of
do
them
that.
really actually earning it. Yeah.
Right.
Benny wants to
I
win
get
now,
the
and,
idea. Yeah.
And
Go ahead.
Benny wants to win now, and Nate Schmidt, regardless of his contract, he's a good player. He's in whatever the prime of his career. He's gonna be helpful. He's probably the second best defenseman we have back there right now. Look, I just can't see the man who traded a 9th overall pick to get Ekman Larson saying, "Oh, let's walk away from our next defenseman." The guy has to play in the top 4.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I want to do that. I agree with Malcolm. You have to
Yeah.
get some money somewhere to sign your good players, but that's just what it's gonna be. I think.
So if you guys move Schmidt, then what's the end goal with that cap space? Where are we going after that?
Well,
What are you getting? What are you
Yeah.
getting for Schmidt at this point, anyways?
Well, Ristolainen
Hey,
got
we
traded
got
for
Chris.
Well, call me crazy, but maybe now you just try to get a third back for Schmidt,
I said that would have
Because-
been a win on our podcast.
which
a couple
I
weeks
know
ago.
which I know is wild.
I would say
to
that was a
suggest
win.
even.
I would say that was a win last week, but after today, I'd be like, I can't just.
After
trade
today,
for
you need a first back. Ristolainen got a first and a second.
Yeah,
bud.
Guys, Ristolainen's 26. He's a right-handed defenseman. He's
And he's
tall.
big.
He's
And he hits a lot of these guys.
Have you seen his player?
everyone
card?
believes that
The guy
he
has
just
a
sucks because
3%
he's in
projected
Buffalo,
WAR.
and they'll bring him to his team, and he'll be great.
No. He's 4th in hits in the NHL. Who's 4th in hits? You can't teach that.
You're right. Sorry, I can't measure size. My bad.
There's no height chart in the analytics. They should just add a big boy chart on every analytics thing they have.
Big boy
and then
for
the tall
60.
guys just
Whoa.
make
Yeah,
it
big
huge.
boy for 60.
It'll give you a more accurate depiction of what NHL GMs see when they're looking at players.
He was good at fantasy hockey 3 years ago. That was the argument that I got today. Was somebody's like, but Ristolainen, he's I don't know why everybody hates on him with the math hockey.
Sports crappy ass video game come up so much recently.
I'm not gonna watch. I was getting excited to watch a draft tonight because I was like, the Canucks are either going to draft someone or it's going to be like a draft day trade. I was assuming that we would make the trade like while I was on TV, and I was like, that'd be kind of cool. But no, they just ruined my day. They traded this morning. I'm not going to watch the draft anymore.
Okay, I want to get back. We move Schmidt. You get the $6 million almost $6 million in cap space. You have to allocate that money back to the defense now, obviously. So
we need to trade for Jake Bean. That's what we need to do.
So just have no picks until the 5th round this year. Who's say?
Why not? At this point, why not?
I'm sort of in that camp. If this is the way you're going to be doing it, who gives a fuck, right?
I think we've pretty much determined that draft picks are not a thing here in Vancouver, right? So,
I'm done.
What are those? Yeah. What are those? I've never heard of that.
At least give me a young player back and Jake Bean.
Yeah,
I'm done with the half in, half out, man. Like, if you want to like actually like build a team long term, like let's trade everyone for picks. We shouldn't have done what we did today. Keep that 9th overall and draft everyone. But like at this point, it's just like we're not doing this long term anymore. Like, why just get caught in the middle? Like, let's just go for it now then. If that's what the view is.
I mean, I think no one's here saying the forward group is significantly better today.
I agree. That's why
than it was yesterday, right?
We got to bring Chris into this. He's just been listening to us go off here. He looks like he's standing in a Costco.
Is that a community center? Is that Trout Lake? No.
I'm at work, and
the commitment is unreal.
Attaboy.
I saw all the chaos unfold, and I was like, "What the fuck did I just miss?" I honestly don't even know what to say.
I know.
The first, it hurts. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Garland, but you traded crap for crap, and then you basically traded a 1st-round pick for Garland.
And a 2nd and a 7th.
And a 7th.
Sorry, I haven't even seen all that, so that's even better. Yeah.
Like, we've traded 3 picks for Garland and then thrown a bunch of garbage that's expiring in 1 year for 6 more years of OEL, but retained not even quite $1 million for 6 years.
Yeah, that retained salary was the game breaker for sure.
Yeah.
Malcolm is just sitting over there questioning his entire life decisions right now up to this point. He's like, what have I been doing with my life?
Why am I a Canucks fan?
The funny part was people were messaging me and they're like, did Jim just fleece Arizona? I'm like, no wait.
No, he didn't.
No.
Just wait. There's more.
You want to talk about
There's
who got
coming.
fleeced? St. Louis got fleeced. Did they? No, they fleeced the
No,
Rangers.
New York got fleeced.
New York got fleeced. Philly
That's
got
what I'm
fleeced.
saying.
Buchnevich for Blaze and a
Canucks should have been in on that. Just saying.
I agree.
2nd-round draft pick for Buchnevich?
No, 1st-round pick next year, guys. We gotta get rid of that. We can't have 1st-round picks in Vancouver.
1st-round picks are not allowed.
A 1st-round pick has never scored a single point in an NHL game. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
That's the stats that Jim is looking at right now.
Okay, here's another question. What are we giving up to get rid of Holtby now?
Well, do we need to? Because of course we have opened up quite a bit of cap with this, so I wouldn't be surprised.
But like even then, we said we have $18 million to sign Dickinson, Garland, Pedersen, and Hughes. Like that's still not enough.
And we still need to get help for the blue line.
Blue line anyway, exactly. Still missing bodies.
All right. Well, I guess our 2nd-round pick to get off of Holtby.
You don't need help on the blue line anymore. You got OEL.
Why not? I just, what's crazy to me is like we Canucks draft or hire Benning to come in because he's this draft guru and they need to do a quick retool. And for 8 years, he has a net negative for draft picks for like amount that he's either brought in or traded out.
I think
if he did nothing with draft picks, he would have ended up with more draft picks to use.
Jim Benning is allergic to draft picks.
I didn't realize that
Levy and Jake.
I didn't realize that the Seattle-Vancouver rivalry was going to be who can make the worst decisions.
It's been a hell of a week for the Northwest.
That-
Experience Pacific Northwest Sports.
Yeah, here it is. Andy coming in clutch. -1 draft pick so far in 8
That's
years.
not that bad. I thought it was worse.
Is that good?
Well, it's not
Not
negative.
that bad,
10.
but it's not that good either.
It's sad that the reaction is that's not that bad.
Like I thought it was gonna be like -6 or 7.
Damn, I thought it was
honestly.
gonna be -6 too, man. The
Also
guys
down
were-
Yeah.
to first.
And
That's
the
bad.
only reason we've done that is that we've traded a fourth for like 2 sixths.
Yeah.
Like if you
just
actually
use
look
deadline
at the
in that
trade
Madison
value
Valley
of those
trade or whatever.
picks,
Yeah.
you know, it's constantly, we trade away a second, but we get like a 6th round pick back. So that's the only reason it's even as close as that.
You know,
And
I said
also
this
that's
on
not
our
even-
group chat. It would just be nice if Ekman Larson had some sort of mysterious injury and then he had to stop playing hockey. That'd be a
Same.
real shame.
Maybe he'll be like Marian Hossa and get allergic to his gear. He's allergic to the air in Vancouver, guys. He can't play here.
He's allergic to
He's
Canada.
like, wow, this Pacific, just the breeze off the ocean really
I'm working
impacts
on
my
hives,
joint.
guys.
Yeah. My
Oh, too
knees
bad.
don't
Gotta
work
go
anymore.
empty
It's the end
IR.
of an era. Louis is gone, man. I'm sad. I love Louis.
There
No
goes
more
the-
Louis memes.
No more
Yeah,
Louis.
no longer the highest played forward or player. Well, I guess still player 2 on our team.
Yeah.
Well,
So
Bruce, you have to make
while-
a Louis Erickson tribute for us and we'll post it.
I will make a Louis Erickson tribute. It's gonna be hard to find highlights. It'll just be an instant replay of like him scoring on his own net that one time. Just like over and over.
His
again.
first game, just
And then that face.
Yeah, oh my god, he's sitting on the bench. I can't even make that face.
So
a good
wild
Branson sliding on
conspiracy,
his knees into the net to try to stop it. That was
And
Wild
then
conspiracy
the one
theory.
net goal.
I'll throw out a conspiracy theory for you boys.
Okay.
With the decisions that have been made in the summer for the past little while, I'm starting to think there's a correlation between wildfire smoke and complete and utter dementia.
You know what? That's the best. That's the best theory I've heard.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I can think of.
I think Jim's just been been to the weed dispensaries too often now that he's in Vancouver.
Yeah.
He's got a little loose these days. It's just like, you know, this is legal here. Can you believe that? And he gets on
You
the
guys ever
phone.
just watch the Canucks make moves and then feel like you're in some sort of fever dream and now you're just clawing to figure out like what's real life? Like I'm having one of those days. Is this real?
Yeah,
And then like I have a moment where I'm like, this is awful, and then like a few minutes later, I'm like, you know what? It's not that bad.
Well, I had a dream last night that the Canucks traded for Reinhardt. Then when I first saw that we were moving the 9th overall pick this morning, I was like, oh god, like, can I tell the future? I can't.
I saw it in a vision. Yeah.
I saw it in a dream.
Jimbo sees
So,
it. That's why he makes it.
Little does everyone know that Jimbo's actually found a source for hair dye that has THC built in. So every
Just bleeds in his
So
scalp.
it
Yo,
bleeds
it just leaches in. Yeah.
This is really devolved. This discussion is really devolved into.
Benning, Garland, thank you, Jim, and Fire Benning are all trending.
Of course.
Why is Fire Benning trending with thank you, Jim? I thought it was a good move. What is that?
Sid Sexero tweeted. Sid Sexero tweeted. He was like, Canucks fans who don't like this trade are dumb.
Too,
I
weren't
was like,
you?
okay, buddy.
You don't
Why'd
take
you
it to
stick
tell
to
us-
breakfast?
like-
Why'd you stick to breakfast television there, Sid? Holy shit, man! Like, can you shut up?
Like,
Like,
If
honestly,
I'm
your
going to
Raptors
take on how to
take, man.
have my eggs, I'll let you know.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you. There's a reason you don't
Oh
work
my
for the
God.
sports station anymore.
Number 5, Orange is
Orange is
open.
open.
Oh, Goose, you think that's funny, buddy? Do you know what goes on in the number 5?
You
Orange
told
is?
me the story about the guy who went and took his family to dinner there on the radio or whatever.
Yeah, did you guys not remember that story from 1040? They used to advertise it there a lot. And then some guy said that he's been hearing about it, and then he took his wife there. And they got what is this place?
Yeah, I've heard it's really good. Rave reviews.
I
Rave
agree.
reviews.
It was the commercial was misleading though. It's like what it doesn't really clearly say what it is.
Trust me,
I
babe.
can
The
understand.
chicken wings here are great.
Like,
Go
you're
out for
never-
fine
You've
dining.
never heard of it, or you're not if you're not local to Vancouver. I can understand why you might not know what it is.
It even sounds like what it is, though. Like who hears number 5 orange? That sounds like fine dining. Let's take my family out. Like that
Yeah.
doesn't sound like fine dining at all.
Jimbo
Who
really thinks
goes
it
to
is.
a restaurant these days like Googling it first? Like, I think typing it in Google will tell you.
I was in Thailand and with our family, and we asked
Are you
someone.
discos too?
What's that?
I said, are you discos too?
No. And we asked for a recommendation for a nice restaurant to go to from the concierge, and we were recommended to go to Cabbages and Condoms. And it was exactly as it sounds like, and literally like there was condoms everywhere. The funniest part was like you could just grab a handful, and of course there were like different sizes, and of course like there was like a tiny little one for like dictators and things like that. It was pretty hilarious. But yes, I have actually asked for a local nice restaurant, and been recommended something pretty similar.
You know what? Fair.
Nice.
Fair enough. Maybe they were just led astray.
Maybe they just thought that's what you were looking for.
Oh.
You seem like a man of class. Let me tell you what you should eat. You seem like a man who enjoys the finer things in life.
Great family restaurant.
Great.
Take your mom,
Fun
take
for the
your
whole-
dad, take your kids.
Yeah, it's
Food
fun
is
for the whole
always
family.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
rubbery.
It's just whatever you do, don't ask for the special.
Yeah, no doubt.
No cream sauce.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. Where do you even go from here right now if you're Vancouver? Like, where do you go from here?
Well, I think you
don't
guys
even-
are right. I hadn't even looked at the cap ramifications yet. I kind of assumed we would have a little bit more space than that, but you still need to go about moving at least Holtby, if not Schmidt too, and try to recoup some picks, or I don't know if in the Holtby deal you bring back a cheaper, younger, cheaper backup in the deal, or if that's
Or
kind
just
of what
fucking
the
play
deal
Michael
is.
DePietro backup goalie.
Yeah.
I don't think he's
Throw him
ready.
to the Wolves now after not getting in
No.
the game all year. This is just textbook stuff.
I would just honestly, I'd look at a guy like Halak. Just bring him in for 1 or 2 years at 1.5 or something, and then by then hopefully Mikey's ready.
But like at this
Yeah,
point,
I
like,
agree.
you trade Holt. Like, are you even going to be able to trade Holtby without retaining salary? And if you do retain salary, then pretty much any of the savings you made up are just going to be gone in signing
Getting your
that
backup,
goalie,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't retain. Like, Canucks
think-
can't be retaining anything.
I think in order
Right
now,
now.
Like you obviously have to give it you probably have to give it some sort of incentive to take that contract then, right?
if I'm from looking at a logical perspective here, which I don't think anyone in the Canucks front office is, I think the next priorities would be, first thing, find a trade partner for Braden Holtby without retaining salary. If it requires an asset at this point, so be it. Get rid of that full freight. Secondly, sign Pedersen and sign Hughes. For God's sake, just get it done.
Absolutely.
Nextly, take care of your other RFAs. Then you got to reevaluate the cap situation, see where you're at, and then maybe before free agency opens for real, you have to decide, make a move on Schmidt. If you want to move Schmidt, move him before free agency and use those dollars and reallocate them turn that money into 2 defensemen instead of 1, and then go from there. I think that would probably be the next course of action. If I was in charge or telling someone what to do now, that would probably be where you have to go from here. And I think that's pretty much what we have to wait and see now, because I don't think the Canucks are going to be active on draft day. I think they're going to be sitting around now on their hands. I don't think they're going to.
There's a built-in story right here. I mean, who just lost a backup goalie to the Kraken? Send Holtby back to freaking Capitals, and he can sit behind Samsonov.
Yeah.
I think
Not a
Boston,
bad idea.
Boston
Boston's apparently been interested. Yeah.
Boston.
Well, a team like Pittsburgh, still looking for a starter. You think Braden Holtby has enough of a reputation to be a starter for a team?
Brian
Well,
Burke's
they
the
just
GM, so
cleared
you never
cap.
know. Brian
They
Burke's the
cleared a bunch
GM
of
there,
cap.
so you never know what can happen.
Yeah.
Well, he's the president.
Send a highlight
Still
reel to Ron Hextall.
Oh yeah, president. Sorry, president. Yes, but still.
Just a bunch of
president.
pictures
Still
of
counts.
Holtby lifting the cup.
We
You want
should
the best. One picture with him was one picture with his Vezina trophy, one picture with the Stanley Cup, and then just fax it over to Brian Burke there, and then he'll be like, "This guy, he's the one."
All for the low price of a 2nd-round pick.
Oh.
We should just trade him to the Flyers. They'd probably give us a 1st-round pick for him.
Flyers might
Oh,
give
yeah,
us
give 'em.
their franchise for Braden Holtby.
Carter Hart for Braden Holtby. Who says no?
No. I mean, at this
Oh,
point,
does Schmidt have trade protection? Wasn't that not one of the reasons that
He
they
has a
dumped
10-team
him?
list.
Any
10 team list, yeah.
10 teams he will go to or 10 teams he won't go to?
10
won't
teams
go
he
to.
will go to, isn't it?
Oh, but that's pretty tough.
Okay, no, I might be wrong. I
No,
know what the
it's
10 teams
it's
is,
the other
but I
way
don't know
around.
which way.
10 teams he won't go. He won't go to.
Okay,
10
that's not
teams
too
he
never
bad.
mind, my
That's
bad.
not too bad.
I don't know what the teams are.
Oh, Arizona might have been one of them. Is
Probably.
that why they weren't able to move him?
I don't know.
I don't
But
know.
the other part of that, and the reason why I think Nate Schmidt is gone is because of the term of Schmidt, right?
Schmidt seems
Because
like a guy who
he's
wants to
got
go to a
that
winner,
term.
so you could probably just cross like the bottom third of the league standings wise off his list.
Yeah,
I'd probably
exactly.
just wager a guess on that.
Mind you, that also, as of last year, included the Canucks. So
I gotta jump off, boys, but this was miserable. Love you.
take care, Val. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll wrap here pretty quick here.
Yeah,
so
I've got to hop off here as well. I got a little
let everybody go back to work.
call. Yeah,
But we had to try to throw out some live reactions. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think of the big trade? Win, loss? Are you worried about the future? Are you worried about now? Yeah, curious
Yes.
of what you got going on right now as far as that goes.
yes.
Obviously, you got to have
That's
an eye
all I
for
have to
both.
say.
So, yeah, concerned about pretty much everything right now.
Yeah,
Andy, worried about the future. So am I.
I've been worried about the future since 2014.
Yeah, I mean, I think indisputably they're better today, right? But what does that mean going forward? So,
Anyways,
Anyways.
gonna hop off there, gents.
yeah,
Yep,
so
me
we'll
too.
throw now to we'll conclude with our sponsor. This is what I'm going to be doing a lot of for the rest of this evening. I'm sure this is a fair recommendation from most people.
Drinking?
High Stick Vodka.
Yeah.
Yep.
Allow me to introduce High Stick Vodka, a new way to celebrate victory. Gather around the glass with an award-winning, ultra-premium Canadian-made vodka. You probably won't listen when I say High Stick Vodka has a smooth, hard-hitting taste, or that it's developed in the birthplace of hockey. You won't listen when I say High Stick Vodka is a tribute to the game of hockey, or when I tell you it's distilled 4 times using Canada's purest mountain spring water to provide an authentic, remarkable flavor. But maybe you will listen when I say it comes in a f***ing hockey stick. Showcase your passion for hockey with our limited edition hand-blown hockey stick bottle. Whether you're celebrating victory or drinking to defeat, High Stick Vodka is better after every shot. Visit us at highstickvodka.com. It also comes in this regular bottle. Celebrate victory. Drink responsibly.